Hi everyone, welcome back to another video now. I wanted to do a little bit of an update. I know I haven't done an update in a while. A lot of people have been asking me where the red hatch is, what's happening with the white EG build, what's happening with the coupe and what I'm going to do with that. And I thought I'd try and fill in a few gaps. I've had a couple of DMs and stuff of people asking, so I thought why not do a video on it. So first things first, I put a post on Instagram, check that out there, and I explained how I wanted to try and recreate some of the naughty tuner car vibes in modern car culture. I'm going to try and tread that thin line between rice and nice. You know, it's very much a balancing act. But I know it can be done, and I've seen people do it. And there are cars now that are showing that it can be done, such as TJ Hunt with his wide body kits, and body kits as a whole, I genuinely think are coming back. So you've got things like Underglow, which I'm 100% sure is going to come back if it isn't already, like body kits are. Side vinyls and stuff like that. A few people are sort of playing with little neon chrome sort of designs on the side with writing, branding, that sort of stuff, and it does look cool if it's done right. Big wheels, lows, and loud sort of colours have never really gone away. Especially the pastel sort of colours and the very sort of vibrant sort of neon colours almost. But yeah, I actually think it looks very, very cool. I'm going to try and make the coupe into a bit of a build like that. And if you're wondering what that box is behind me, that is a pair of side skirts. They are charge speed side skirts. Shout out to Quinton, or the Fast and Furious Eclipse France, or Tuner's Throwback, spelt with a Z dot throwback. I'll drop him below anyway. But he's posted me them out to the UK from France, so absolute legend. But that's the idea anyway. It's going to be a full-on, football, Fast and Furious, Need for Speed Underground kind of build, I'm genuinely looking forward to it. I really, really am, and I think it will be cool, because it will be for me anyway, because I've never actually built anything as outrageous and as crazy as a naughty tuner car build, and it's a niche that I really, really want to scratch. So as many people that won't like it, I'm sure there are just as many people that will like it. And I'm going to try and, as I say, tread that very thin line between rice and nice, and try and make it as crazy and outrageous as I possibly can, but still as cool looking and modern looking as I can. But the car I've got is a naughty Civic SI, so a 99 to 2000 SI, or here in the UK, Civic VTI Coupe. So it's cool. The EM1 is the chassis of that sort of era, in my opinion. It's the car that everybody modified. That and the 240SX, or the, as we know it, the S14, S13, S14, any S chassis really. Both the Civic and the S chassis, very much tuner cars. But yeah, the parts acquired so far then. Skirts, as I said, charge speed. I have some 17-inch alloy wheels, which were very, very cheap. I paid £60, and they do have 4 tyres. Whether or not they'll hold air or not, who knows. Front lip, I've got a Jun Speed front lip, so that's a very naughty sort of part. I've also got a rear bumper. It's from Carbon Culture. I paid £60 for that. The front lip I think was about 60 quid, 70 quid as well. What else have I got? A rear wing, DC2 rear wing, which I put on the cheap Civic build list as a part that I already acquired, and I acquired it with the car. I did get some money back for the EM1 alloy wheels as well. I got £120 back for them, so basically what they were sold to me for with the car. So I didn't really make any money. They had good tyres on, they had one flat tyre, all the others, and it was a full set of 5 wheels as well, a full set of 5 wheels with 4 centre caps. Obviously you don't get the 5th because that's in the boot, tied down. But yeah, so I got a bit of money back from that and put a little bit more into parts. I've been selling things on eBay, like car parts and stuff like that, to try and build a bit more money up to get these bits. But all in all, including the side skirts, the wheels, everything, I'm £400 deep, which is quite good going to say that you could probably pay £400 just for a bumper. Even now and back then as well, in the early noughties, that was the case. So remaining parts for the coupe for me to be like, do you know what, it's done, it's finished, I've had enough, I'm out, will be tyres most likely, because the old ones look a little bit dry rotted, a little bit a little bit crusty, a bit low as well. I think one of them's pretty low. Lows, I'm looking at lowering springs. If anybody wants to help me out with tyres and lowering springs, then please hit me up. And maybe some front seats, or at least some covers, just to make it look, a little bit fancier, rather than the weird sort of blue confetti sort of style that's on the seats at the minute. I'm not really a big fan of it. I've also got, so going now from that particular build, I've also got the Civic EG, The red one, I keep it running, I keep it ticking over. If you're familiar with my Instagram stories, then you'll know obviously all the parts for the coupe build, but also that every now and again I run the EG, the H22 swapped EG, keep it going, keep it, you know, alive, keep the battery charged up, run it to temperature, and then turn it back off, you know. All the parts from that car will still be going into the white chassis that I've got. It's a non-sunroof model, it's a JDM model. I've got fresh sills for it, fresh quarter panels for it. All the panels on the red one that aren't there on the white shell, you know, like lights, tail lights as well, and you know, all the aesthetic sort of things, all the exterior bits will be going over from the red one onto the white one. But that build is going to be very much a serious and dedicated build to my style. Now, I've always been into Canjo, I've always been into you know, like the JDM sort of tuner scene, where there were legendary cars like the Spoon EK9 that revved to 11,000 RPM and put out 260 horsepower. Mines with the Skylines and the Evo builds that they did, HKS with their drag R32 that used to be on like Gran Turismo and stuff, and obviously like games like Gran Turismo were a big inspiration for me as a kid growing up. And I want to build the car with a view of, one, making it as light as possible, and two, making it as daily drivable as possible. And those are two very conflicting sort of, you know, characteristics to have in a car. It's good that I'm starting with a Civic. You know, if you want to do that sort of a build, you need to start with a Civic or an MX-5. But I also want it to be very user friendly and usable. I don't want to have a stripped interior. I want to have a full interior. And I did get the red one, despite it being H swapped and what everybody says about the engine being heavy. It's still an aluminium block. It weighs as much as a H22 as a K24. They're not seen as heavy blocks. They're all aluminium blocks, you know, so they're not heavy. It would never make an EG or any kind of Honda chassis front heavy. The engine's positioned only just in front of the front axle, so that it's not. When I weighed it, it weighed 960 kg, and it had a front to rear axle weight sort of ratio, if you like, of 64 and 36% on the front and rear axles respectively. So it was very light, weighing 960 kg, and it wasn't far away from that 60-40 split that you want front to rear axle wise on a front wheel drive car. So that's the plan with the white one. I'm going to go ham on restoration. Every single part that I hold in my hand, and even on the chassis itself that I can't remove, I'm going to be looking at it and thinking, you know, is it structural? Does it need to have strength in it? If not, is there any weight that I can take out of it, or can I even replace it with something that's going to be lighter and stronger? I'm going to be holding things like the manifold in my hand and thinking, you know, these areas that don't make contact with the cylinder head and don't need clamping force on them, so in between the ports, if you like, for the manifold, I'm going to be thinking, let's Swiss cheese it, let's make it as light as possible, and I'm going to want to do that with every single part, basically. So that's the vision for that build. It's going to be very much, it might go wide body. I really like the Pandem kit, although it is expensive. And I was looking at that kit thinking, I'm going to do that to my EG, I'm going to do that to my EG. And then Robbie Ferreira, the bastard, went and did it before I could. I'm not on his level yet, I completely get that, and I won't be on his level for a long time, but you know, so I hope if you guys can help me out, please do so. But the vision for that build will be as light as possible, and I've seen people put the Pandem kits on with aluminium, you know, the screw like rivets where you can thread a bolt into it, and use plastic bolts or plastic screws to screw it in, and you know, they'll sand down all the unnecessary curves and shapes from that particular wing, so all the lip, if you like, on the inside of the wing, they'll completely trim all that out, not just the section to clear the wheel on its travel, but also the sections near the sill to just make it as light as possible as a body kit. Aero, I'd love to do a flat underbody, I'd love to do like a nice diffuser, I'd love to have purposeful aerodynamics on the car, maybe a vent from the bonnet, you know, through the bonnet from the front radiator, so that cooling goes up and over the car rather than going underneath. That sort of thing I'm really interested in, so that, as well as chassis tuning, you know, getting the widest possible tyres on there, biggest possible contact patch, brakes, and the best, you know, the best sort of friction, coefficient of friction over the widest temperature range of brake pads and things like that. Like, that's all the stuff that constantly goes around in my head as an absolute car geek. And I think to myself, you know what, that's something that I want to build, something Japanese sort of inspired. Everything over engineered for like a daily driver, but something that you can drive to the track, throw down the quarter mile because of how light it is, and its power to weight ratio would suit that sort of thing, and throw it round a track You know, that's the ultimate build. It's going to be basically something that is supple enough to be on the road, tight enough to be on the track, quick enough to go on the quarter mile, and be an ultimate sort of toge car, if you like, you know, a B-road basher, as they're known in the UK. So that's the goal for the EG hatch. So I've also got another series, if you like, that I'm thinking of doing, or should I say a bit of a rebranded series for the channel. I'm going to call it Spec Check. Now it's very much going to be like a news night, and it will include a lot of news night things, but what I want to do on the Spec Check is get other people's cars on the channel. I'd love to go through something that's been modified and tuned to their taste and show it on the channel and show everybody else it, and let those individuals show off what they've been able to create. That for me is something that would be really, really cool to watch, you know, so just going around and seeing what they've done, to what, and why they've done it, and what the purpose is for the car, and what they get out of that particular build. Why do they enjoy it? Why did they choose those particular parts, and what made them go down that route with that particular car? Because you see some cars that are just not cut out for a quarter mile drag race, but there'll be somebody who's put a V8 in an MX-5 or a Miata, for, you know, a Miata for you guys over in the States, and it'll hoon, you know, it'll chop with the best of them. But it's not something that you know would ever sort of think that would make a good drag car, that would make a good quarter mile car or a half mile car, whatever it is. And I always really like that sort of stuff. Sometimes it comes down to budget, sometimes it comes down to personal preference and people liking that car, sometimes it comes down to people just wanting to prove people wrong, you know, and have something, and somebody said that they couldn't do it and they've made it happen, you know, through modification, which is, as you know, is just endless. I just think that'd be cool to bring to the channel, so I'd love to hear from you guys. If you want to put something on the channel, then please let me know. But that is definitely something that I want to do, so I'm calling that Spec Check. The first one is probably going to be on the Civic Type R, the new one that they brought out, so stay tuned for that. And then something that I do want to do, I'm coming up to 2,000 subscribers very shortly, or I hope, you know, fingers crossed. I'm going to do some sort of giveaway for it. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I'm looking to do some sort of giveaway, and if anyone would be interested, maybe a Q&A, you know, maybe I'll put a Q&A thing on Instagram and let you guys choose some questions. So that's it for this particular video. If you stay tuned all the way through, then please hit subscribe, hit like, it does help. It helps the video get recognised by YouTube, that it's relevant, and I'll catch you on the next one if you've hit subscribe. Bye for now.